Ugh. All right. What's going on, YouTube? We're back again with another reaction, another review. This one's a two-parter back-to-back today. I know you guys have been waiting for me to do this one. You guys have heavily recommended it. I'm excited to do it. So the music videos we got today, Falling in Reverses, The Drug in Me Is You, and then The Drug in Me is Reimagined. So I am super excited for this today. You guys had recommended to me I'm Not a Vampire and I'm Not a Vampire Revamped, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing to see how they had grown over the 10 years and how they decided to reimagine what they had originally put out, and how there was really no change, maybe a tiny addition to the lyrics in the end, but no real difference in the lyrics, just how they put it through and the message they conveyed with it. And the message was so much stronger, and the emotion that it captured was just so much deeper and darker. I really enjoyed seeing how they did that, and you guys came back with a request for me to do The Drug in Me Is You and The Drug in Me Is Reimagined, another about 10-year gap and another reimagining of their music, and seeing how great lyrically Ronnie Radke is. I'm excited to do this, so let's start off with The Drug in Me Is You and Ronnie Radke, Falling in Reverse. Let's see what you got. Where's the audio? Oh.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find out staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case.
I like the kind of upbeat rock vibe to it, just kicking off with this. But the fear of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I carry this coffin just in case. If I believe that's what he said, right? That's a dark lyric. Like, that's a dark line. That's very fearful of death, but expecting it just in case. That's a decent hitting line for the intro of a song. And the beautiful cops in the attire that they're wearing is obviously it's visually pleasing.
Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin just in case. My body's tremble as it shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks in, shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked dice. Laugh out the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my
Hold on, what did you say? Darkness pulls them down? That haunts a 100-year-old house?
with crooked dice. Laugh out the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my
I like that. I'm talking about the darkness that's inside him, and that's the same darkness that haunts a year-old house. That's a dark darkness. Like, that's referencing demonic possession, very, very supernatural, paranormal, kind of spiritual darkness. And when it relates to that, it's usually always deals with someone's soul, someone's entire being. That's why it's always like demonic and possession. The kind of darkness that haunts a house like that. That's where it deals with your soul. It's deep within him. It's deep in his soul and his being. It's not just a part of him. It is entwined within him. That's a solid way to put it. And I can already tell, like, he's talking kind of, from what it sounds like he's talking about. It sounds like he's talking about his addiction, similar to I'm Not a Vampire, but it kind of sounds it seems like it's playing a little more on just him to himself, about his decisions, about being who he is. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a direct connotation to his addiction, like, you know, I'm not a vampire. Hi, my name is Ronnie. I'm an addict. That's a direct line to it. This one seems more like it's kind of like the consequences and the effects of his actions. It's kind of like it seems like he's like talking to you, but he's talking to himself as well.
the kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook
I love this chorus that he's putting out. But I have to ask, comment down below and let me know if I'm in the right on this. But is this the same courthouse that they used for Popular Monster? It looks like it, like at least the pillar placement, it looks like it'd be either the same or maybe they tried to recreate the set in a similar facet if it's not an actual courtroom that they used. But let me know in the comments. Let me know if that's the same courtroom, because it looks oddly similar. I mean, of course, it looks different with beautiful women, walking around as opposed to dead bodies. But yeah, let me know. I like it like that as the band members are sitting there just kind of vibing to him as he's doing what he's doing as he's singing. They're just like, yep, mm-hmm. Like, I like that. They still looked like they were kind of like sitting either in the audience or in like the jury section, the jury box. And it looked like they're in agreement with him. He makes a valid point. If we're all born to die and we're all dying to live, what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? From the minute you're born, you are dying. You are like, that's the only definitive thing in life from the minute you are born, is that you are going to die. It all is going to lead up to death. And then vice versa, people are dying to live their life. Like, they're trying everything to be able to live their life better. And in sense, like, it's not literal dying, but it's dying in the essence of, you're killing yourself to try to live a better life. I.e. working overtime on hours, working yourself to death. Like that, it's like kind of like in that essence. So what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? And that's where I think I like that, how he put that in there, and that kind of plays off of, at least me personally, I kind of have a philosophy of, my, like, with what I do with my normal career, my normal job, like what I normally do other than this grand set of videos that I like to do. I personally see it as, your career, your job. That's just a finance avenue for you to be able to live your life, and in essence, that allows me to not take life as seriously. And in the general essence of live your life, be goofy, have fun, just live your life. Don't stress about trying to live it better. If it's good things will come if you wait and if you work for it. But don't put yourself into an early grave just striving solely for that, striving to make that extra dollar, try to make that extra dime. Like, it's not worth it. I mean, because at the end of the day, yeah, you can strive to make all this money to try to live your best life in that. But what's the point when none of us get out of this alive? None of us get out of this lifestyle alive. We all are gonna die. So I like how he put that. I really like that. That's a comparison to how I treat it in the same facet, how I treat life in the same facet.
What's the point of living life if it just contradicts? I'm from the darkness that been trying to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time.
Okay, you're saying I lost my damn mind. It happens all the time. Very similar, and talking about his, this is definitely, as I'm watching this is definitely like him talking to himself, and more so than him talking to a single person. Like, that's not him. I can tell that he's reflecting on, his past life experiences. Before this, he was incarcerated, and he has his addictions, and he has his troubling past, and the stuff with his mom and everything, as we know from the key thing, that the key trilogy, starting with losing my mind. And that's what he said, I lost my mind. It's a direct comparison there with everything that's happened to him in his past and what he's been going through and everything. That I like that he put that in. I lost my mind, and then the start of his trilogy really explaining the old versus the new, the recovered versus the addict Ronnie. The battle within himself. It starts off with losing my mind. It definitely plays directly in with this, because this is definitely him talking to himself. And then the trilogy, starting with the same line in that, losing my mind, it's him battling with himself. So I really like that it's kind of doing a full kind of circle with him getting more, him touching base on it, and then him getting more in depth with it as the trilogy goes on. That's very smart. Good guitar solo. That was smooth. That was pretty, especially for him picking that high up on the fretboard. That was a very smooth flow to it. I really like that. Sometimes when guitarists will pick that fast, that rapidly, farther up on the fretboard of their guitar, you can kind of hear the finger placements as it's hitting, which that's what's implied. That's what they want it to sound like, because it's direct hitting notes. But to have it kind of flow like that in a very kind of piano-esque sense, that really makes a cool sound to it, especially being able to hit those higher notes while making it flow like that, almost like he's kind of using a slide, but not so much using a slide. And that's a really cool way of how to make it sound with that. I like that. It started off with I lost my mind, and then this one, it's like it hits that finale that I've lost my mind. Like it's definitive. It's just like it's here, it's happening. That's it. Like I've lost my mind. That's kind of a it holds some sympathy to it. Like, but to say I lost my mind, like that's like a sympathy's out the door, and now it's just pure frustration. Like it creates just such a different feel to it, and it just has such more power behind that. Just changing from to like it just changes it so much more. All right. I like that. I like that it was like them waking up like after everything that happened, kind of like when partying and doing drugs and being an addict, waking up after the drugs have taken their effect and everything's all disheveled. Your life is disheveled. Like I like the imagery that they put through this, and I really like how they took it like it was involved almost predominantly in a courtroom, or him at in either jail or that between the glass, he's talking on the phone. And I really think that puts a serious image out there with kind of what he went through with this past. Like he's seen plenty of courtrooms. He's had to talk through that glass before. Like he's been incarcerated. Like he knows what it's like to have to step into this room and then have to leave this room under guilty circumstances. Like he knows that feeling, and he does a really good job at portraying him talking to himself and him confronting himself about kind of him being his own worst enemy in this. That's really kind of like the feel that it gave me, at least with the lyrics. That's like definitely the feel that it gave me. Like with the darkness that's within him, like that's what it put through. And the imagery behind this, it's so fun and like, once again, it's very fun. It's lighthearted, very similar to how he did I'm Not a Vampire with, the celebrity rehab kind of reality show essence. Very similar, but this one has a much more, I guess you say, real life relation to it, in the sense of everything that Ronnie has gone through. I like that they portrayed different images of that, being chased by the cops, regardless of the cops being gorgeous women or not, being chased by the cops, being in the courtroom, being in jail, talking to someone through the glass, using a phone, like a lot of the stresses that come about with having to go through, going through incarceration. So I really liked it. I thought it was really good for this being, how old is this one? This came out June 2011. All right. So, bravo to them. Now let's see what, The Drug in Me is Reimagined is all about. All right. Let's see what he's got. Before anything happens, I can already tell it shows the piano, shows kind of the isolation in the snow. I'm already digging it. Just knowing from after already seeing I'm Not a Vampire and I'm Not a Vampire Revamped, I'm already about to dig this. I know it because I love piano pieces. I love solo piano pieces, or if it's got some form of orchestral accompaniment like I'm Not a Vampire Revamped. Doesn't matter. I love it. And just seeing him walk out and go to the piano, like, I'm excited to see what this kind of reimagining is going to be for this. Like, this could be really cool.
I heard a knock upon my door the other day. I opened it to find her staring in my face. The feel of mortal stalking still reverberates. Everywhere I go, I drag this coffin, just in case.
Oh my God. When I just listened to the first song, I paused it right at this point, talking about how he brings a coffin just in case and all that, and the fear of death, but expecting it just in case with him talking to himself. And I said, those are dark lyrics, especially for having kind of an upbeat kind of rock feel. And this is what I thought of what I would see with those lyrics, like very slow, melodic, and his voice went from very pop and punk style to theatrical, and he did that in I'm Not a Vampire Revamped. Like, there's no doubt that, I don't know, I wouldn't guess anyone would argue that Ronnie is an extremely skilled singer, vocalist, lyricist, everything, screamer, everything. But him being able to take what he had made prior and turn it into this, just already off the bat of what I heard, this is going to be an awesome song. Like, so much more power put into this. Oh my God.
Just in case. My body's trembling, sends shivers down my spine. Adrenaline kicks and shifts into overdrive. Your secrets keep you sick, your lies keep you alive. Snake eyes every single time you roll with crooked eyes. I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now. I lost my goddamn mind.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm stopping right in the middle of this. I'll go back and let this play through. But this is a ballad. This is an orchestral ballad. And in music, ballads are so much slower and the context is so much more in depth, but the message is so much more clear. Like, and this just goes to show this is the exact same lyrics as he did with the prior song. like 10 years ago, and put into a reimagining, the drug in me is reimagined, it's so much more powerful. And it definitely creates more of the essence of him talking to himself, because he's by himself. He's singing this stuff to himself. And just that light piano, how it went from having the orchestral, like the cellos in the background, and then just it went straight to just the piano and him saying that he lost his mind. Like, that is phenomenal. Like, that is just a beautiful transition. And that's like, he's like, other than just being a musician, I'll be one to say he is a phenomenal composer. And musical composition is light years ahead and harder than musical performance. Composition, to create it, to take it from what's in your head and all the different musical sounds and instruments. He's a composer, and that's very hard to do. And I'm hoping he does more of stuff like this, because this is already absolutely beautiful.
I lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume. The drug in me is you, and I'm so high on misery. Can't you see?
This is gorgeous.
I've got these questions always running through my head. So many things that I would like to understand. If we are born to die and we all die to live, then what's the point of living life if it just contradicts? I felt the darkness as it tried to pull me down. The kind of dark that haunts 100-year-old house. I wrestle with my thoughts, I shook the hand of doubt. Running from my past, I'm praying feet don't fail me now.
Just saw that Ronnie has fangs. In that scene, it clearly showed his canines were extremely long, like similar to how he was in I'm Not a Vampire Revamped. I don't know if that's a play on this or not, or of it. I think this came out about a year or so before I'm Not a Vampire Revamped, like around this time last year. So, I mean, that might have been a hint towards what he was going to do, but I really just had to stop this and talk about how well his placement is with his, I said he has a very theatrical voice in this, but you could hear that purposeful raspiness in his voice, that scratchiness in his voice come out, tiptoeing towards him yelling it more than him singing it. And it emphasizes the meaning and the power behind it so much stronger. And his placement on it is very well timed with what he's trying to put forward. Like, that was very well done. That was very intricately laid in there. Like, and a lot of people, it'll just pass by. Like, they don't realize that like, even just the slightest amount of tonality change in his voice is extremely carefully calculated. And I have to tip my hat and say bravo to that, because even just the slightest little bit of raspiness that he puts forward in his voice puts even more emphasis on what he's trying to say. And especially since he's talking about the darkness that haunts that 100-year-old house. Very much talking about he himself and all that is him, and the darkness that's within him, that he's his greatest enemy, that he is his problem. Like, I like that push forward. Like, that emphasis is phenomenal.
Don't fail me now. I've lost my goddamn mind. It happens all the time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here, trying to consume. The drug in me
that piano solo was beautiful, and in the same time set as the guitar solo. And I had said that the guitar solo sounded very piano-esque because of how well he was able to slide his fingers and how he wasn't individually plucking each and every single time his finger hit a certain line on the fretboard and up on the neck. And it just, to take that and encapsulate it straight into a piano feel, it flowed so well. Like, that was a beautiful, from the guitar solo to the piano solo rendition, and keeping that same feel. Like, that was gorgeous. I love the highs and lows.
And there's no fucking time. I can't believe I'm actually meant to be here.
So beautiful.
Trying to consume the drug in me is you. And I'm so high on misery. Can't you stay? Can't you stay? Can't you stay? Can't you?
Ooh. Okay, back how when in the first one when he said I lost my f***ing mind, and it creates that context of no more sympathy. Now it's just angst and tired of it. It's angry at the situation. This took it in a completely different feel. Like, oh my God, like, he hit that scream and I was like, oh Jesus. But oh my God, everything starts to light on fire. The color changes, the intensity grows, and it's like it's similar to him just saying I lost my mind as opposed to I lost my mind. It goes from sympathy and sorrow and woefulness to anger and just and overall angst at the situation. Like, and that's what this is conveying so much more. Like, everything lighting on fire, like everything's being destroyed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but him standing around all this and him being by himself and all around this with everything lighting on fire, it's like it's killing him. It's destroying him. He's losing his mind. He's losing his life. He said, I've lost myself, i.e. I'm losing my life. All key things that portray to the trilogy, all related towards the same stuff. And this one, I just love how it hits with this fire and the drums and the guitar just kicking in hard. Like, it really puts that message even harder forward. Man, that was solid. Like, the first one was good. I'll give him credit. That first one, The Drug in Me Is You, that was a good song. But this one, just like I'm Not a Vampire revamped, the reimagining of his songs and what he's doing with it is so beautiful. And the message comes out so much harder. Like, he could have done something like this with the first song. He could have done something like this and made it more powerful, and not made it, with the courtroom and the beautiful women and stuff, and really made it, less, upbeat and kind of happier kind of vibe to it, even though it has the darker lyrics. And he could have done it like this instead, but honestly, doing it how he had done it and then coming back and re-releasing the song with this new reimagining, it just has such a harder hit. It just has a deeper catch. Like, it hooks you way harder to know, like listening to it and you're like, oh yeah, that's the exact same lyrics as what I just heard. but completely different. Completely different. And the emotional context that it pushes through is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So that was my dual reaction to The Drug in Me Is You and The Drug in Me Is Reimagined by Ronnie Radke and the amazing Falling in Reverse. Thank you guys. Once again, y'all recommended some amazing songs. You told me to do a comparison to this just as I had done to I'm Not a Vampire and I'm Not a Vampire Revamped. I loved it. Oh my God. And the reimagining to this song is so powerful. And I got to say, bravo to Ronnie and Falling in Reverse, everyone that took part in this with the composition, the performance, the music video. That was absolutely gorgeous. And no discredit to the original piece. That was fun. It was upbeat, and it had a good message that put through. But this one is just, there's a reason why he reimagined it and why he put it through like this, because it hits it on such a different and harder note. Like, bravo. I absolutely loved it. Clearly from everyone recommending it to me, y'all loved it too. So thank you guys. Like, that was awesome. That was my reaction. I thought it was phenomenal. But if you guys like this reaction, as always, smash that like button, smash subscribe, smash that little bell for future notifications so you get all updates on when I'm coming out with new videos. And comment down below, give me some more music videos you want me to react to. I loved Falling in Reverse. Of course I do. NF, I'm going to continue the NF journey here coming up. And any Tom McDonald songs coming out, Hobson, you name it, I'll do it. Just feed me more and I'll keep feeding you more. And I'm loving to do this. So thank you guys again for recommending these songs to me. I greatly appreciate it. So keep recommending to me because I want to keep doing this, and I definitely love it. But that's it, guys. I'm out.